The Faraglioni rocks are an eternal Capri landmark. These gigantic limestone rocks face the waves off Punta di Tragara, southeast of the island.
Capri is a true wonderland. The water is so unbelievably blue you almost expect to see mythical sirens frolicking in the surf.
However, no one in Capri is really thinking of stuffing their ears with beeswax, as Ulysses' sailors did, to avoid hearing the siren's song. Besides, that would mean you couldn't enjoy the singing of the thousands of birds that live on this lush green isle. Malaparte, Norman Douglas, Krupp, and Lennon all lived here.
There are 2 small towns on the island. All told, they cover only 13,000 hectares. But they've forever been irreconcilable rivals. Capri, the capital, is the lower city, a jumble of homes and buildings piled together at an altitude of 142 meters. By contrast, Anacapri, which literally means Upper Capri, spreads out in a luxuriant carpet of parks and gardens at an altitude of 275 meters.
The little island of Capri has a sister, the island of Ischia, to the north, on the other side of the Bay of Naples. Ischia was occupied by the Greeks as early as the 9th century BC. They called it Monkey Island. Later, many warring peoples tried to seize control of this little bit of heaven on earth.
This ancient volcano covers a surface area of 45 square kilometers, and almost every square centimeter seems to be exploited. The least bit of land is used by the island's 50,000 inhabitants.
The Bay of Naples is one of the most famous, and it's said one of the most beautiful in the world. Painters, musicians, philosophers, and writers have praised it, swept away by the romantic beauty of the landmarks in this ancient setting.
Actually, this exceptional shoreline extends much beyond the Bay of Naples. To the south, beyond Sorrente, the shores of the Gulf of Salern are even more beautiful. The village of Positano, perched in the middle of the Amalfitane ledge, is one of the most authentic and prettiest towns one could imagine. The color of the homes stacked regularly up the hillside, the blend of mountains and seaside, all this is typical of villages on the Amalfitane coast, but the charm of Positano, where automobile traffic is prohibited, is unlike anything anywhere.
Extremely sharp coastlines protect these shores, which, because of their wonderful climate and beautiful landscapes, are among the most popular in the world. The shores of the Estoril are among the few that remain intact on the French Côte d'Azur.
Between Fréjus and Cannes, an almost impenetrable mountain range reaches all the way to the sea. The Estoril range appeared at the end of the Tertiary period, and in the Quaternary period it underwent violent erosion. Its rugged high slopes have protected the coast at this spot because they make it difficult to build roads, homes, and hotels.
A road was, however, cut into the ledge. Now it's at least possible to enjoy a view of this magnificent shoreline. The coastline is cut into sandstone and red porphyry. It has a multitude of rocky inlets separated by sheer points and is surrounded by brightly colored reefs and islets.
Elsewhere along the coastline, the natural landscapes have been altered by development, which does not always respect the beauty of the setting. Surprisingly, the Gulf of Saint-Tropez, which attracts thousands of tourists every year, has retained a lot of its original charm. This peninsula on the Moor coast is surrounded by marvelous beaches. When the summer season is over, these shores can be as beautiful in spots as they were centuries ago.
By definition, The shore is the spot where land and sea meet, a clear line where the two elements come into contact. But occasionally, the notion of a coastline is more complex. This is the case with the great deltas, where rivers spread out and flood the land with fresh water before flowing into the sea.